Adult Solutions. Add-on desires.
Hello viewers, welcome to Adult Solution Daily Current Affairs. I am Lokesh Penugonda. In this session, we'll see the current affairs based on today's The Hindu and the Indian Express, and later we'll see some practice MCQs based on today's current affairs as well. Our first article: as Taliban advance, India pulls out Kandahar consulate staff. So what is happening in the Afghanistan? What we have seen in the last few weeks is the United States and its NATO allies leaving the Afghanistan territory. As these important allies are leaving Afghanistan territory, the government troops of Afghanistan could not hold and could not control the Taliban advance. And as a result, Taliban has taken control of many districts in the northern Afghanistan in the last few weeks. So they have taken control of many districts in the northern Afghanistan. And there is an important city based in the northern Afghanistan, that is the Kandahar. And India has a consulate in this Kandahar city. As there is intensive fighting near the Kandahar city, Indian government has asked the diplomats to leave the Kandahar consulate and return to India so as to safeguard their livelihood and safeguard their life. So this is what is happening in the Afghanistan. Now we'll see about various consulates and embassy India has in the Afghanistan. After pulling out of the troops in the Kandahar consulate, India is left out with just one embassy and one consulate. India is left out with the embassy at Kabul and the consulate at the Mazar-e-Sharif. So currently we just have two places where Indian diplomats are working. Earlier, apart from Kandahar consulate, India has two other consulates. These are the Jalalabad consulate and the consulate at Herat. So from 4 consulates and 1 embassy, last year we just have 1 embassy and 1 consulate in the Afghanistan. So this is with respect to the Kandahar consulate. Next article: several government employees of Jammu and Kashmir has lost their lives. It includes the sons of Hizbul Mujahideen chief Mr. Syed Salahuddin. So what is this Hizbul Mujahideen? Hizbul Mujahideen is a extremist outfit. It is a terrorist and extremist outfit based on the Kashmir region. You should note that Hizbul Mujahideen is a pro-Pakistan militia. It is a pro-Pakistan terrorist organization. It is getting support from the Pakistani based military and the ISI. And in the last few years, what we have been witnessing is Hizbul Mujahideen being actively recruiting people so as to attack the Indian property and Indians living in the northern part of the country. And yesterday, 2 sons of Hizbul Mujahideen chief Mr. Syed Salahuddin has lost their lives, apart from other people who has lost their jobs. So we'll see what is happening in the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory has brought out an article called as 311(2) of C. So this is a new article applicable just for Jammu and Kashmir region. It is stated that through this article, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir can establish a special task force. So what does this special task force do? This special task force will scrutinize, that is, this special task force will identify and will analyze the employees' conduct, and it will lodge cases against them if it finds out that government employees are working with some anti-establishment. So this special task force will recommend the government as to whom should be removed from the service without any formal inquiry. That is, if it find out that someone is working with the anti-establishment, then it will recommend to the government as to remove a government employee from the service. And yesterday, this special task force has asked the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory's government to remove 11 employees from their service, stating that these 11 employees are working with anti-establishment, mainly the extremist and terrorist working in the Jammu and Kashmir region. And among these 11, there are two people who are the sons of the Hizbul Mujahideen chief. So this is the special task force working in the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. Next we have an article where it is stated that Sikkim alone is home to 27% of India's flowering plants. This is according to the New Botanical Survey. New Botanical Survey of India's report. So last week the Botanical Survey of India, which is an apex organization, it is the apex organization to conduct research on various wild plants. So there is a institution called as the Botanical Survey of India, and this is the apex or the head of research organizations regarding the wild plants. And in its last week's report, it has stated that among the 18,000 flowering species that are found in India, nearly 5,000 are found in the state of Sikkim. So 27% of the flowering plants are found in Sikkim. So we'll see a small detail about Sikkim. Sikkim is the smallest populated state. Sikkim is the smallest populated state. It has a population of less than 7 lakh people. So it is the smallest populated state in India. And now we'll see something about the Botanical Survey of India. Botanical Survey of India comes under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. This Botanical Survey of India is headquartered at Kolkata. It was headquartered at Kolkata, which is the capital of West Bengal. So this is with respect to the Botanical Survey of India's recent report regarding the flowering species in India. Next we have an article where the Ministry of External Affairs, Mr. S. Jaishankar, on his trip to Georgia, has presented some relics of a Saint Queen of Georgia. So who is the Saint Queen of Georgia, whose relics India Minister of External Affairs has formally transferred to the Georgian counterpart? She is Saint Ketavan. So there is a Georgian queen in the 17th century. Her name is Ketavan. And due to her philanthropic efforts and due to her efforts to help her countrymen, she was given the sainthood. And her relics, that is her mortal relics, were found out in Goa. They were found out in Goa. So the Indian Ministry of External Affairs has formally presented her mortal relics to the Georgian counterpart in the yesterday's ceremony. So in this image you can see S. Jaishankar handing over the relics of Saint Ketavan to the Georgia. Now we'll see the capital of Georgia. Georgia's capital is Tbilisi. It is Tbilisi. Next article is talking about Interpol. Yesterday we have seen the 16th annual conference of Interpol. So yesterday we have seen the 16th annual conference of Interpol, and it is stated that more than 160 countries have taken part in this virtual annual summit of Interpol. So what is this Interpol? Interpol is the largest international police organization. It is the largest international police organization. So why do we need an international police organization? Last year we have seen how the diamond merchant who is accused of frauding several banks of more than 10,000 crores, that is Mr. Mehul Choksi, escaping India and staying in Antigua and Barbados, which is a country in the Caribbean island. So we have seen how a diamond merchant, after frauding several banks of India, has escaped Indian establishment and Indian law enforcement agencies and has taken refuge in the Antigua and Barbuda. If there is no international police organization, we might not be able to identify, locate and arrest this individual who is in the other country. So we need an international police organization to do that. So last year when Mr. Mehul Choksi fled at India, we have asked the Interpol to locate Mr. Mehul Choksi, and Interpol through its Antigua and Barbuda agencies have found out that Mr. Mehul Choksi is staying there. So this is why you need an international police organization. So we'll see some background of this international police organization. It was established in the year 1923. So nearly 100 years ago, this was established. The objective, as we have seen, is to bring cooperation of various countries' law enforcement agencies. So the objective is to increase the cooperation between law enforcement agencies, that is the police and other law enforcement agencies of various countries in the world, Now we'll see where it is headquartered in. It is headquartered in a city called as Lyon. This is a city in the France. So this is with respect to the Interpol. Now we'll see one important initiative of the Interpol. Interpol has recently launched something called as I-24/7. So what is this I-24/7? I-24/7 is a secure communication network. It is a secure communication network between police and law enforcement agencies of various countries. So if Indian law enforcement agencies or police want to talk to some police officials of, let's say, Afghanistan, then they can use this I-24 communication network because it is totally secured as per the Interpol document. So I-24 is a Interpol's secure communication network. Next we have an article where it is stated that Mr. Biden has nominated Garcetti as ambassador to India. In the image you can see Mr. Eric Garcetti, who has been nominated by the President Biden to be the ambassador of United States to India. So what is the next procedure? After a person is nominated, he has to be ratified or approved by the Senate. So what is the Senate? Senate is the upper house of the United States of America. In India, we have seen how there are two houses, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, where Rajya Sabha is the upper house. Similarly, in the United States also, there is the upper house named as Senate. And the Senate will have to approve the nomination of Mr. Garcetti. And if he is approved by Senate, he would become the US ambassador to the India. Now we'll see some important facts about Mr. Garcetti. He is the current chairman. Of the group called as C40. So what is this C40 group? C40 is nothing but Cities 40. But you should remember that it is not a coalition of 40 cities, but rather it is a grouping of 97 most important and most economically rich cities in the world. So there is a grouping called as C40 or the Cities 40, but it has currently 97 cities. The objective of this grouping is to take action against the climate change. So we have seen how cities are mainly polluting, that is, we have many industries, many transportation facilities in the cities, and as a result it provides for huge emission and pollution. So a grouping called as C40 was established. The objective of the C40 is to fight the climate change in the world. The current chairman of the C40 grouping is Mr. Eric Garcetti, who is named to be India's and US envoy to India. Next we have an article where it is stated that the R number, which was less, is increasing nowadays. So what is this R number or the reproductive number? So what is this R, or the reproductive number? Reproductive number is the calculation, or it is the indicator of how fast a pandemic or an infection can spread from one person to other person or one group to other group. That means if the R number, that is the reproductive number, is 1, then it means that one infected person can infect one more person. So if a person is infected by the COVID-19, in this case, he can infect at least one person. Similarly, if the R, or the reproductive number, is 20, then it means that one infected person can infect 20 individuals with the same disease. This is the reproductive number, or the R number. Now it is stated that as the number of tourists visiting the tourist spots and the hill stations in the country are increasing, the R number has also started to increase, and it is stated that R number has been increased from 0.78 to 0.88. So what do you mean by R number 0.88 presently? It means that 100 infected individuals, 100 COVID infected individuals in this case will infect at least 88 persons for COVID-19. So R number denotes how many persons an infected person can infect with the same disease. Next article is talking about private schools turning away the economically weaker section students. So what is this article mainly talking about? There is a act made by Indian Parliament. This is the Right to Education Act of 2009. So the Indian Parliament has brought out an act called as Right to Education, and there is one important provision brought out by this act. It has stated that 25% of the seats, 25% of seats in private schools have to be reserved for disadvantaged section, sections. So what do you mean by reservation for 25% seats in the private schools? We have many private schools in the country. It may be Delhi Public School, it may be Golconda Public School, it may be international schools which are owned by private individuals and private trusts. The government, to promote the education of children and to make sure that children get good quality education, has brought out this provision where it is stated that even the private schools will have to allot 25% of their seats to the disadvantaged sections. It may be scheduled caste people, it may be scheduled tribes people, it may be economically weaker section people. So what would happen in this context? These 25% of the seats, when filled by the private schools, they would get the money from the government. So let's say there is a private school, and if you assume that the strength of the school is 100, then 25 seats have to be set aside for disadvantaged sections, that may be SCs, that may be STs, and these 25 seats after filled by the school, the fees for these 25 seats have to be collected by the state government, should be collected from the state governments. So these disadvantaged section people, by not paying much, they would be able to enjoy quality education from these private schools. So this is the 25% reservation for disadvantaged schools in the disadvantaged sections in the private schools brought out by the Right to Education. But many schools in the country are not accepting and not following this provision. So the Delhi government is taking some steps to make sure that this policy and regulation is followed by the private schools in the country. Next article is Assam is getting a new department to protect the indigenous faith and culture, according to the Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Himanta Biswa. Yesterday, in the cabinet of the Assam meeting, what we have seen is the Assam cabinet accepting a proposal to create a new department. This department is to protect the indigenous or the local faith and culture, of the people. There are numerous tribes living in the state of Assam. They have a distinct and indigenous faith and culture. To protect these indigenous faith and culture, Assam government is coming out with a new department as approved by the Assam cabinet yesterday. So, if you have a question which is asking about the state which has started or which has set up a department to protect the indigenous people's faith and culture, it should be the state of Assam. Next article is talking about a Indian origin aeronautical engineer being flying to the space with the Virgin Galactic. So what is this Virgin Galactic? Virgin Galactic is a private space company. It is a private space agency. By taking money from individuals, this private space agency will take these individuals to the space. And yesterday this private space agency called as Virgin Galactic has announced that it is running a test run, or it is launching a first of its product launch, and it is stated that an Indian origin aeronautical engineer will also fly in this space journey. She is Miss Sirisha Bandla, whom you can see in this image. She is an Indian origin person. Next we'll see some practice MCQs. Right to Education Act was passed by the Indian Parliament in the year. Is it 1999? Is it 2003? Is it 2009? Is it 2013? The answer is C. It is 2009. Next question. I-24/7, which is recently seen in the news, is used for. Is it used for monitoring the Indian Ocean? Is it used for monitoring the Indian monsoon? Is it used for communications between the Interpol members, or is it none of the above? The answer is C. It is used for communication between the Interpol members. Next question. Smallest state in the India is it Sikkim? Is it Goa? Is it Manipur? Or is it Himachal Pradesh? The answer is Sikkim, because we are talking about the answer would be Goa, because we are talking about smallest state, whereas the lowest populated state is Sikkim. So the state with lowest population is Sikkim, but the smallest state as per area is Goa. And with this we have come to the end of this session. Inform about ADOTS initiative to your other aspirant friends. You can visit ADOTS website to attempt more mock tests based on today's current affairs. Thank you for watching.
Add-on solutions. Add-on desires.